Freedom. It's the most American word there is. It's written into our DNA, stitched into our flag, and echoed in every anthem. But somehow, along the way, we let it shrink. They sold us a watered-down version. They told us freedom was about me, about doing what I want, taking what I want, leaving everyone else to fend for themselves. But that's not freedom. That's selfishness dressed up in a flag. That's the lie they sold us to keep us divided, to keep us weak. Real freedom, it's not about how far you can run alone. It's about how far we can go together. It's the courage to care for your neighbor, even when it costs you. It's the strength to stand shoulder to shoulder when the weight of the world tries to crush us. Think about the Revolution. Those colonists didn't fight the British alone. They weren't just 13 scattered colonies. They were one people, risking everything, united in a cause greater than themselves. In the Underground Railroad, freedom wasn't forged in isolation. Enslaved people didn't just dream of freedom. They built it hand in hand with allies who shared their courage and defied a system built on fear and greed. When I'm free, you're free. And when you're free, I am too. That's not just an idea. That's a truth carved into the soul of this country. Freedom has never been about going it alone. It's a bond, a promise we make to each other. It's the blood that's been shed, the battles we've fought, not for one person, but for all of us. But here's the hard truth. Liberty isn't just the principle. It's a zero-sum game. It either exists for all of us, or it doesn't exist at all. When liberty is hoarded by the few, when it becomes a privilege instead of a right, it stops being liberty. It becomes oppression wrapped in a disguise. The chains they place on your neighbor, they're only one step away from being placed on you. That's the lie we've been sold, that liberty is something you can own while others go without. But liberty doesn't work like that. It's not a pie where someone else's slice takes away from yours. It's a fire. And the more people who carry its light, the brighter it burns for all of us. The idea that freedom is just for the individual, that's the lie they told to break us. They knew if they could make us think it was every man for himself, we'd stop fighting for each other. That's exactly what they wanted. To keep us apart. To keep us afraid. To keep us from realizing that our greatest strength isn't in me. It's in we. Real freedom, it's not fragile. It doesn't crumble when it's shared. It grows. It strengthens. It lifts us all higher. And it's time we remembered that. Because the power of freedom, the real power of freedom, is in the bonds we build, the hands we hold, and the courage we show when we stand together. The power of us, that's freedom. That's America. And that's what we fight for.